Hey there, I'm Soumya. Welcome back to the series. In this series, I'm just documenting my learnings on Solidity, and in this video, we will be going through the types of variables that are present in Solidity. So, without further ado, let's just get into this video. Cool. So, we are on Remix again, right? And let me just clear this thing out. Okay, cool. So, what are the type of variables in Solidity, right? So number one would be a state variable, right? State variable. Second one would be local variable, and the third one would be a global variable. So I'll go through this one by one, right? So let's first go to state variables, right? What are state variables? So basically, state variables are those variables that are stored in the blockchain. They are declared outside any function. For example, let's say this is the contract. Here we declare a state variable, basically, right? So inside the contract and outside of any function, basically, right? So let's say event public, and this public is these are public. There are different types. The next video will be on this public. You can write private here on these things. So that is decided by this public and external, internal. These four things are there, basically. So that will be the next video, but we should focus on this right now. So event, let's say public, and let's call it var. Okay, var is a keyword. So AA, right? And I'll call it to top 23, let's say. Okay, so this, whatever this thing is, this will be stored, this variable will be stored on the blockchain. So this is a state variable. Now if we see the local variable, this local variable will be actually inside a function. So quickly I'll just write a function. Let's say function name will be get value, and I'll just, it will be a public function, anyone can call it, and it returns, let's say, event, and I'll just open this, close this. So any variable that so local variable basically means that its scope starts when the function where it is declared, and it ends when this function ends, basically. So if I, let's say event a is equal to 3, right? So and I return AA plus A, right? I'm adding both of these things and I'm returning. So basically the scope of this function, the scope of this variable is just within this function. Outside we don't know what A is, right? So if I just do A is equal to 4, it should show me an error. I just saved it, and now if we compile, see, we have got this, because it's just not able to know what A is. So simply all the variables that are declared in the contract and outside all the functions, like AA is a state, is basically a state variable, right? And you can make it, you can decide to either make it a constant or not constant. We'll discuss this in our next video, but basically that's a state variable that this lives on the blockchain, while local variable is only used inside this function. It is declared inside the function, and its lifetime is starts and ends within this function. So that's why it is called local, because it's local to this function. Now let's go to global variable. Global variables are those variables that provide some information about the blockchain, right? These are not made by us or something, but these variables store what data the blockchain basically gives, right? So you can do something like so address, as we discussed, is in the previous video, is a type. Then I can call it public, and then I'll call the variable name, let's say AD, and I'll assign it message dot sender, right? So this is something that the blockchain provides us, right? So basically that makes AD a global variable, right? Not something we made, right? It is constant globally. Another example will be, let's say event public, let's say time, and I'll say now, I'll say block dot timestamp. It should give me the timestamp of this block. If I just compile it, everything is fine, right? And then I'll just deploy it. So deploy, and it is deployed. And if we go to this, we have these public, as we have declared public. A good note is that when we declare something as public, Solidity makes a getter function automatically for us. So that's why we have these buttons, right, to get things. So you will see this is a state variable 23, get value. This should give us 23 plus this local variable 3, right? 26, right? 26. So message.sender basically gives us the person who called this function, or called this function basically in this contract. So if we click on this AD, you'll see we have this address, and that is our address, the account that is calling. So you can see if I show you this from this address, right? So we are this address. So message.sender gives us that block timestamp. If we do this, we should get a number. So if we convert this should give us a date basically, right? So so that's the time when this block was mined. So yeah, that's basically a global variable. These two things are constant, right? These can't be just manipulated, so they are global, right? Thus global variable. So basically these are the 3 types of variables that Solidity has. And in the next video we'll be going through the scope or the visibility, how to manipulate the visibility of these things, like how do I make, like, what is the meaning of public here, what is the meaning of private, external, internal, if we write here. So yeah, basically that. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you got some value out of this, and if you have any thoughts, do drop them in the comments, and that would be really helpful. So I'll be seeing you in the next video. Till then, have a great day and keep building.